am I going to do a Halloween live stream? Also, what do you think about a Bill and Ted third movie? I'm probably not going to do a Halloween live stream because I haven't really got anything specific planned, which is why I've been promoting the last 3 years of After Dark for the last week or so, because I haven't got any new Halloween movies to work with. Since my go-tos with regards to horror movies is vampires, werewolves, mummies, and maybe a couple of suspense thrillers, I don't go for the zombie or the ghost variety too much, because there are some things that they leave a little bit of an impression on me. And I think it's from the perspective of, particularly with regards to, say, a vampire or a werewolf movie, you know those things are pure fiction. But when you talk about ghost story movies, you know, considering there are legitimate ghost stories out there, it's something I don't like to partake in too much, for lack of a better word. What would be your sort of go-to with regards to horror movies, if at all?
Let's see. I watch a lot of horror anime. I would probably go with Japanese horror films, not because I'm a weeaboo or anything, because I do like some of the classic horror movies from the past, but at the same time, recently it feels as the horror genre is kind of the same. 5 stupid kids going out to get wasted and get slashed to death by some notorious killer. Like, oh my god, guys, I'm white girl wasted, and I'm gonna die like second, because everyone knows that the token brother gets it. Wait, what do you mean that's racist? I said guys die too. That's not racist. What do you mean I said the wrong ist? Stupid. I know I do that a little too well. I apologize. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Most horror movies these days are the same. And in terms of anime vampires, Adam, I'd have to say it's a three-way tie between Saya from Blood the Last Vampire, D from Vampire Hunter D, and Shido from Nightwalker Midnight Detective. I like Alucard, don't get me wrong, but I saw the Nightwalker series, which was a 12-episode long anime, before I got into the Hellsing franchise. And the anime that got me into the vampire genre to begin with, in terms of Japanese animation, was Blood the Last Vampire. That movie is just, oh. And I can't recommend Vampire Hunter D enough, both the original and Bloodlust from 1993.
Damn. Of course, there's actually 3 different versions of Saya now. There's the, well, 4 if you count the 2009 live action movie, which a lot of us tend to look away with that. You have the 2000 movie, which the only thing I can knock that movie down for is it's too short. It needed to be at least an extra 10 minutes longer.
I agree.
Then there's the 2006 series Blood Plus,
which wasn't too shabby, though the ending kind of disappointed me a little.
Yeah, you wanted her to stick around a little bit more, because you felt like she's finally happy. She's got what she wants, but there's like, no, she's got to go into hibernation. Oh, gosh dang it.
And I can't really pass judgment on Blood Sea, as I haven't seen the whole thing, but I have seen some clips of it, and holy shit, is it gory.
It goes to places.
Let's just say in one scene, a girl is literally beside herself.
You had to say that whilst I'm eating.
I said it in the most discreet manner, so I apologize profusely.
It's one of those animes you've literally got to go in from start to finish, because you do see a lot of what is going on and the sort of behind the scenes stuff that's going on, which then leads into Blood See the movie. That one, in essence, feels like a little bit of a rehash of the original anime movie, and that movie created a little bit of a controversy because they kind of implied that Saya was open to lesbianism.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I plan to watch it anyway, probably because I'm a bit of a franchise completionist, so I have to watch something just to see if it's good, if it's bad. Even if it's bad, watch the next adaptation just to at least see if there's any improvement, since there are moments where something starts out bad and ends up kind of growing on you.
I didn't have a problem with the angle. I thought, okay, that's different, but quite a few fans were up in arms about it. Like, ooh, it's like, did you have to go there? And I'm just like, guys, y'all can, go voice your opinions about that. I'm just leaving this well alone because it's a big red button that no one wants to press these days. Like, just leave it alone.
Yeah, some subjects these days, super touchy.
Yeah. What horror movies do you mostly watch around Halloween? Well, let's see. Bram Stoker's Dracula, which this year it celebrates its 25th anniversary, and that movie has aged incredibly well. From the writing to the casting, and also that very haunting soundtrack piece by Annie Lennox, Love Song for a Vampire.
Oh yeah, Gary Oldman killed it as Dracula.
And Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing. It's like, okay, dude, do you have to chew the scene? Really? I appreciate you're trying to be the eccentric type, but you're kind of overdoing it. I feel like the only one who didn't really turn a performance as good as he should have done was Keanu Reeves as Mr. Harker.
Yeah, from what I understand, he was so nervous in trying to nail that accent that he kind of second-guessed himself into a prophecy.
He did. Winona Ryder nailed it. An absolute sweetheart as Mina, and Dracula's bride before he started turning to the dark side of the Force. Dracula's a vampire. That would be an intriguing set of circumstances. Again, the things that they did in that movie, and they did this with little to no CG, or probably because CG wasn't that readily available at that point, although this was a year before Jurassic Park, so who's to say? What else? Horror movies to watch. Dracula Untold, despite some of the flack that movie gets, it almost feels like a decent origin story for the character, and Luke Evans steals the show as Dracula, although it's a bit weird when you have some characters that try to be as accurate as possible and have a Romanian accent, because Transylvania is meant to be a Romanian-speaking country within the fiction. But most of the actors are speaking either English or just putting on an English accent, and then you hear Luke Evans with his Welsh accent, which it throws you off a little bit, but it doesn't do it to the point where it takes you out of the movie, so that's helpful. As far as werewolf movie goes, The Wolfman 2010 is a guilty pleasure, but if you really want a decent, modern offering from that particular genre, watch Ginger Snaps. that is so well done, considering they actually are using good old-fashioned prosthetic and mechanical effects in that, because that really allows the actors to actually interact with what's on there. And the actress who plays Ginger, you really feel like she's giving an honest performance, because she starts out as the socially awkward, rebellious type, and then you see the transformation that's going on physically with her is also happening mentally, because she becomes the it girl. And because all these wonderful things are happening to her, she doesn't want to give up what's going on with her. And it's an interesting set of circumstances with regards to this version of a werewolf transformation. It's not one of those things whereby the full moon goes and you turn into one and then you're done by dawn. This was a very slow transformation to, once you're fully there, that's it. You're not human anymore. You can't even turn back, which, again, I thought was a very interesting take on that. American Werewolf in London, I was terrified of at 14. Then I saw the movie was on Channel 5 in the UK on New Year's Eve. Looked at the creature, and I'm like, I was scared of this. Oh, I'm glad we're on that subject a second. This showed up in my news feed 2 years ago. There's this YouTube couple that went on this part of Universal's tour, recreating. In fact, I'm going to go into Facebook a second, because I need to actually copy and paste for posterity, because this had me lighting up. And Wynn, you're probably going to be head desking after you see this.
Oh boy. Yeah. What?
Yep. That is in an actual YouTube video.
The romantic reenactment for those curious. So, an American Werewolf in London is an American who is a werewolf but doesn't want to kill Americans, so he goes to London to kill British people. I don't get 80s horror movies.
That's pretty much on point on me. That's not even the fucking plot, you uncultured swine! I hate when people who have never seen movies like that come up with an asinine plot summary, assuming the story from what they read from the title. I need to go lay down. That was more stupid than a month's worth of Raw.
Sick bird.
Oh, dear.
God.
Yeah. And the commander just simply started with an angry emoji and then just simply follows up with, what the fuck did I just read? And I'm like, 2 years later, I'm still questioning this.
Ay, ay, ay.
I know. See, Chris Ortiz, that right there. That right there. Oh. That's stupid. You're stupid. Stop being stupid.
Oh, God.
There's always a TFS quote for pretty much anything. Although, funnily
enough,
enough,
is why people love it so much, because of the self-awareness.
it's funny. I go onto a Gotham clip where a gang is cornering Selena Kyle, and Bruce just happens to be there. And Bruce calls them a coward for beating up a little girl, which, come on, guys, if you beat up girls, women of any age, you just turned in your man card. Hate to say it, but that's the truth. And he keeps taking a beating and whatnot until then he again goes and says, didn't your parents ever teach you to do that? Do something better? I'm like, oh. And I just go, you pushed the parents button. Shouldn't have done that.
Oh, yeah.
Bad
move.
Yeah.
It just takes me back to that old meme picture I saw ages ago of an old Batman comic clip with him backhanding Robin after he says, hey, Batman, what did your parents get you for Christmas? Flap! My parents are dead!
I like in the Lego movie, he just kind of covers it real briefly, just has this like brief heavy metal guitar, goes, I have no parents.
Oh, Will Arnett, you are amazing.